I think one of the things that we need to talk about too is how to handle, whether it's with cancer or any other condition, how do we handle all of the information that's out there? Because
Yeah.
you can go on the internet and there are people, I've dealt with this personally where, and met people like, oh, you've got this type of muscular dystrophy. I can, make it better. I can cure you. I
Wow.
can, I can get, and I've gone through times in my life where, of course, my desperation and my need, it was like, okay, I'll do it. I've traveled around the world to, meet with doctors and found
Sure.
helpful things in the process. But when someone says to me, I can cure you, at least now I'm at a point like, well, I'm a lot more skeptical.
Mhm.
Um, so it's something really important. It's like, how do we manage all of the information out there and decide what to try, what not to try?
Same thing can be said for cancers.
Yeah.
I was working with this man who was suffering from pancreatic cancer, and he was receiving his chemotherapy, and he was leading a good enough life, going to his work, you know, continuing to be a father for his family, a husband, and had a, looked normal, had a good life. And so he got convinced that there is this guy in Germany who can help him with this particular blood whatever therapy. So he
Hmm.
dropped everything.
Hmm.
He went there, he got this treatment,
Hmm.
came back and died in a few weeks.
Hmm.
So that was very hard for me to take. He was my
Yeah.
client, and he died like what I call like almost like jumping off a building. And that was very painful for me to watch. And complementary therapies or people who are healers, um, they can sometimes give us the hope that we're looking for.
Hmm.
Even some doctors, I mean, I've seen the doctors abusing a patient who needs to really die peacefully,
Right.
pumping them with lots of drugs and just prolonging their lives, not in a state that anybody wants to be.
Right.
Yes, they lived a few days longer, but that's not a good life. That's not
Right.
what a good doctor does,
Right.
my mind at least. So I think finding a balance between a hope and desperation and what's doable, do I really want to do this?
Right.
It's a tough job to do. And I think maybe that's what our process is very much like.
Right. And it's dynamic. It changes. Like what I need now is different than, what I needed 10, 15 years ago. And, we grow emotionally, psychologically, and physically in terms of, so it's not a static thing. And there's a lot of trial and error, and it's very personal and subjective. And there are a lot of great professionals out there that have their best intentions in mind and are honest, and then there are people that'll promise you the moon and are much more kind of megalomaniacal or just uh and
Unfortunately.
unfortunately, yeah.